rise to fight for their liberation.
GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
The Master's Table by DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love to God, now playing on the internet's #1 destination for true hip-hop. Introducing truthhiphop.com, a meticulously curated platform designed for connoisseurs seeking a superior quality of hip-hop. Immerse yourself in an unparalleled experience of 100% bar-heavy, authentically crafted, real hip-hop. Discover the essence of the genre, reminiscent of its golden era, now playing exclusively at truthhiphop.com.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
Law in the person of Sincere Love the God.
Yeah, that mean they arms too short like Tall Anthony Shaw. We back in the building, family. What's good? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God Sincere Love, and this is my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl, and we are here with another edition of the Black Business Showcase. What's going on, everybody?
Everybody in the chat, where they at? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my favorite, which is the Black Business Showcase. I like Sundays too, but this is always my favorite when we get to talk to, our folk, live. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And this one right here, who brings a ton of energy. I love his life. I love his soul. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
The remix.
But before we get into that, y'all know I need y'all to hit that like button.
Oh, yeah.
Share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we live. About to be chopping it up with another dynamic guest on the Black Business Showcase. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell for those of you watching us on YouTube. Shout out to the family tuning in from Facebook. Y'all like, sharing all of that good stuff as well. Put this on your Twitters.
All that.
And shout out to Nicety with the Master's Table t-shirt.
We have to take it, anniversary's kind of coming up, right?
Actually, it was my birthday.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know that, to be honest. I'm thinking that it was closer to the children's book series.
No. It had came out. It had hit streaming platforms. 2023. Yeah, 2023 on my birthday.
Wow. Well, I took it out the drawer.
Shout out to Don. He said I'm on time, and I still didn't get my alert though. Well, it looks like you're tuning in from Facebook. I don't think Facebook gives alerts. Do they?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Facebook sends out alerts. I know YouTube is supposed to send out notifications when we go live. Sometimes they don't do that. But that's why we need y'all to like, share, and subscribe, and just do the street team business for us.
Right. Please.
Handle that street team business for us.
Please and thank you.
All right. So we're gonna be chopping it up like we always do, man. And I don't want to waste too much of our brother's time. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Got a dope guest coming up for y'all, man. This is a return guest, a second time offender.
The remix.
The second time might have been more than two.
It's the second.
It's at least two. It might be more than two.
I think that when you're doing your hip hop or music broadcast, he's definitely
probably something like that.
Pull it up to that. But the Black Business Showcase is the second time.
All right, no doubt. Either way, we got a repeat offender joining us tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna be talking about what it truly means to have knowledge of self, for one thing. You know what I'm saying? Our brother is a fellow master student, content creator, and a multi-talented artist who's on a mission to help uplift humanity. He's an author. He has a brand new book out. So we're going to get into all of that as we chop it up with our good brother, Sekond Sun. And that's second with a K.
Don't forget.
S-U-N.
Don't you forget it.
You know what I mean? Walk with me. Welcome back to the Godcast, K. What's going on?
Hey, oh man, listen, good brother. I'm delighted. You know what I'm saying? Excited. You know what I mean? All them, adjectives that describes excitement. I'm right there.
Yes, sir.
Like Sister Nicety said, yeah, this is the second time on the Black Business Showcase, but yeah, we have chopped it up, on the hip hop type tip. You and I with RP Beats.
Yeah,
we sat down and we got busy one night talking about that, talking that talk, man. I'm excited to be back on the platform, man. It's good to see y'all, and I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to come back. It's good to see y'all, man.
That's likewise. It's good to you still doing good Black business, which we'll get into, you know, and constantly evolving yourself and things like that with the family. So yeah, I'm excited to chop it up with you tonight.
Right. And so, we already documented the origin story on the first go round. So for those of y'all who haven't seen that, make sure y'all check out the first go round that we had with our brother Sekond Sun on here. That was a great interview, just like we're gonna have another great interview here tonight. But since we already got that documented and kind of out the way, just fill us in on what's been going on since we last chopped it up with you.
Since we last chopped it up, man, a lot has come to light. Let's say that on this whole knowledge of self journey. I've, again, like you said, recently penned my first book, and I'm excited about that because it gives me the opportunity. I treated this opportunity to pen my first book, and like I'm saying, my first book, because it's definitely like a series coming behind this. But I was able to do what I consider to be an introduction, like introducing myself to the self-improvement, family. Okay. Those of us that are, going down the road of self-improvement and self-awareness and applying the knowledge, you see, as we go. Because of course, knowledge is infinite. There's no limit to knowledge. You're not gonna get to a place to where you just, I'm good. I know what I need to know. I know it, whatever to as it relates to self-improvement. Let's say that. So, since the last time again that we chopped it up, I've done that, and then we have some business ventures cooking right now that I'm not, let's say, able to just specifically talk all the way about, but it's definitely, it's looking up. It's looking, real bright for your good brother as it relates to, this journey, man, and the whole, like we're saying, knowledge of self part of my timeline, man. I got some new grandsons, you know what I'm saying? Got a couple of them since the last time I sat down with y'all.
Twins?
They 2 months apart by two different daughters. But yeah, that's what everybody, when they see us out, it's an older lady that'll see us when I'm walking them sometimes. Are they twins? No, they're not twins, but they 2 months apart, man, and they about
twin cousins.
Yeah, twin cousins. So
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Congratulations, man. More life.
Exactly. And I'm like sitting here because I was reading your book, and of course you name your children and grandkids, and I was like, grandfather where? You know what I'm saying? Grandfather where? You look like somebody's brother. Grandfather where? I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember all these children. The last conversation.
Yep. Grandfather.
He's a whole pappy. He's a whole pappy around here.
Yep. We'll make 49 this year. We'll be 50.
Wow. Wow. I'll
Mm.
be 50 this year. I'll be
Okay,
50 this year.
June 8th. I
June
already
8th.
know.
June
That's
8th, the
right.
big 5-0. The big 5-0.
Sincere, you just made what?
4-6.
Ah,
I'm
dang.
right behind
He's still a
y'all.
baby. He's still a
Right,
baby.
I'm
right,
right,
right.
I'm right behind y'all. I'm
We're gonna
catching up.
hold him up. We're gonna hold him up. Baby brother.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. So,
Yes.
in your journey to, knowledge of self and, self accountability, awareness, spirituality, culture, all that, what pivotal moments have led you to a deeper understanding since our last conversation of yourself? I'm sorry.
Oh, a pivotal moment for me was, what is this? This 25 now. So when do we, we went through the whole, the jabby jab and
Oh, Lord.
the shut down and sit down. You can't go outside, yada yada. You know what I'm saying? That I would say like right up in there would be a pivotal moment because I was able to take advantage of the the sit down and be still part to where I was able to even, I'm gonna say, go a little deeper in the rabbit hole.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And while doing so, again, for my book and being a book writer, I already had in mind some titles of books. And within that period of time, I was able to really concentrate on outlining some things that I felt like I wanted to highlight or present to the family. You know what I'm saying? And that was, it's very important, again, for us to have this a broad, let's say this, it's very important for us to stay open-minded, you see. And while the shutdown of the sit down was going on, I had, just like a lot of us, I had to dig deep and say, okay, God, what's really happening? Like, what are you really trying to tell me? You see what I'm saying? And during that period, I was able to, like I say, outline some things about writing in the future, because that was 21. Was that 21 when we had to sit down?
2020.
2020, actually.
Yeah.
2020.
Okay. So again, I was able to be a member. Yeah, because that was pivotal. Yeah, you said pivotal. So let me go here. A pivotal moment was when I got the opportunity to become a tribe member of the ABS tribe. Assets before splurging. Yeah, let me go there, because that was pivotal for me. Because when it comes to telling your story, being a content creator, you have to have a sense of tough skin, and you gotta be able to really zone out and not worry about what they gonna say. Oh, okay, yeah. So you another one of these YouTube preachers? You know what I mean? Right. So that's what you're doing now. You making videos and you are teaching. You know what I'm saying? What you know.
You try to kick knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna be regular degular. You know what I mean? The ABS tribe that the good brother Ben X created and birthed, that was a pivotal moment for me as it relates to like the whole, like we're saying, content creator, even the book writing. And I say that because within the ABS tribe, I would meet Sincere. I would meet Sincere. I would meet who I call my book lady. Y'all know her very well. I call her Sister K. Rob, crowned 808 on
Oh,
Instagram. You can find me. You see what I'm saying?
that's our beloved.
That's our beloved sister, a vital. Like I said the other day, she's not a secret weapon. She's a vital weapon to my book writing. Now, again, I would meet her within this tribe, Sincere. Oh man, I can name a number of Black Majesty. I mentioned her in my book. A young sister that was a part of the tribe, very active in the tribe. And again, that opportunity to be a member, and again, he gifted me, Brother BNX gifted me my membership because he found me. He found me on YouTube, and the video that he found me on, I was basically speaking about digital real estate and the concept of digital real estate on our platform, the Walk With Me podcast with me and my good brother, you see. And Brother BNX hit the comment section, and it went from there as far as he was like wanting to know who was the brother with the kufi on. Hey, send me he told me to send him a message or something like that, and we ended up exchanging information through email, etc. And then boom, he ended up gifting me my membership. So that was a pivotal moment because within that tribe, man, that was it was like a university. You see what I'm saying? The layout that the brother had was like a university of basically, like we're saying, the digital real estate concept. He was highlighting and teaching about that. But within the tribe, I was able to gain these relationships and inspiration and motivation through like the vibe of the tribe, because the tribe was about tell your story. You see what I'm saying? Turn that camera on. You know what I mean? Talk about it. Don't worry about what the naysayers talking about. Just turn your camera on. You see what I'm saying? And then within the tribe's curriculum, if you will, I would learn a lot of, I'm gonna say, techniques. You see what I'm saying? About how to, maybe, let's say this, manipulate the algorithm. And the way you manipulate the algorithm is consistency. That's what I learned. You know what I'm saying? So from that point on, that was a pivotal point because I started to be consistent and wouldn't let off the gas as far as being a content creator and telling my story. And along with telling my story, I'm able to, highlight this concept of knowledge itself because of what I had researched and learned along the way, and then coupling it with, like we saying, this vibe that the tribe brought. And so that was a pivotal moment because as I look back now on it, and like y'all saying, man, that was 20, so that's 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. This time is moving.
Right.
Yeah, it is, man.
And I ended up on boom, like the Godcast. You see what I'm saying? And a number of the tribe members would create these different podcasts, and I would, be a guest on some of them as well. And we just, I'm gonna say, behind the scenes is some of us that just vibe with each other, as we can see, and here we are today. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, I don't think I would know Sincere without the tribe.
No, that's real shit.
So big ups to the brother BNX for following, for obeying God, for making that step. Because I know that we know that there was a lot that came out of it positive.
Yeah.
That's what we deem to be negative too. But that's with anything.
That comes with it.
Yeah. Anytime
1,000%.
somebody is, because I'm sure y'all got y'all story as far as, what I'm saying? The positive and negatives about whatever. But I want to say this real quick. To y'all. I'm appreciative of your consistency with what y'all got going on. Your brother, if I'm not watching, I'm gonna go in there and hit that like, and I'm gonna share it out or somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes I do have the time to sit in, talk, and comment or whatever. But if I don't, I'm gonna come in and hit that like at least. You see what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
it.
And go from there. So I'm
That's love.
appreciative to y'all, man, because y'all got a real good thing going on as it relates to knowledge itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. And also, don't forget, he was on the intro song on the album, The Master's Table. When I
Yeah.
first heard the album, when Sincere sent it to me the night before, I
That's
listened to it early that morning, and I was stuck on that first. I was just like, oh,
I
he was like,
remember
so
that.
what's your favorite cut? I was like, I like the intro. It's the
I
intro
remember
for
that.
me.
I remember that.
It was the intro, yeah.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Yeah, I did right. I ended up on the brother app. He didn't even know.
I did.
Oh, really?
RP set that up. RP done hit me behind the scenes. Sincere didn't even know.
Wow.
I heard it when y'all heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it when y'all heard it, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was perfect. You know what I mean? You set the tone. You know what I mean? You set the table.
Yeah.
You set the table. You know, we took it from there, man.
Let all the master students gather around the master's table.
And
Right.
Let's eat.
Let's see.
You know what I'm saying? So then, that was a pivotal moment, man. It brought, a lot, I'm gonna say, out of me as it relates to, because again, in the beginning of me turning the camera on, that part, and actually, like we're saying, teaching what I know or presenting what I know, there was some apprehensiveness, 'cause I was like, man, everybody, but everybody is not. So don't say that. Everybody is not doing it.
Everybody ain't you.
That's
Everybody
the thing. That's the thing.
Right. And so
that's the thing
everybody
that I had
gonna have my experience. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a pivotal moment right there for sure. The ABS tribe. Assets before splurge.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. 1,000%. I co-sign everything the brother just said, about the program. Y'all already know, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be doing none of this. So like you said, highly unlikely we would have came across each other, you know what I'm saying? Because, he wasn't creating content. I wasn't creating content. You know what I'm saying?
Artists. You know what I'm saying?
But going back to you being on the intro to the album, I think I learned later on after that, this wasn't your first time in the studio.
Nah.
Look at him smiling. Nah.
Give us the history, because you was a part of some things.
Yeah, I was.
Talk about it.
I got a section in my book about that as well. Yeah, man, I grew up, I was born into a musically inclined family. My mother, you know what I mean, was a phenomenal, what they call psalmist, a soloist. And she played the piano in that church house, man. So I got the best of both worlds, like I tell people all the time. I sung in the choir at church. I sung in what they would call a gospel show choir in my high school days, at my high school, and then another gospel show choir that wasn't a part of my high school. I would be one of the ones that would actually lead songs in the choir. You know what I mean? John P. Key, my favorite gospel artist, the Prince of Gospel, another Gemini. He is a great inspiration for me. I sung a lot of his stuff, led a lot of his stuff in the choir, and when I hit them streets, man, that R&B, man, where them girls at, man, you know what I'm saying? I ended up having the opportunity to sing with a R&B group that the members were a little older than I was. They were already in college, and I was in high school still. I ended up being able to replace a member in their group because they got rid of, he quit. I forget how it goes. Either they voted him out or he found something else to do or something, and they wanted another vocalist. So I will replace him while I'm in high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm singing in the R&B group that we, chasing that dream. We would be in different talent shows, that the radio stations and stuff is hosting and putting on and whatnot. Eventually, all of that would lead me to a 5-man R&B group with the record label, Rap-A-Lot Records in Houston, Texas. Rap-A-Lot would Jay Prince would end up flirting with R&B by creating a R&B label he called Single Out Records that would never drop. Let me see. Well, maybe Johnny P. I think Johnny P did drop one R&B album off that label. But the group that I was in, and when I say Johnny P, I'm talking about the good brother, peace be upon him, because he gone now. The good brother that sang, do you wanna ride in the back?
Yeah.
Chop it up with Do or Die. He, Do or Die was a part of the label after us. They came after us. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up, Johnny P, I think, ended up dropping an R&B project on Single Out Records. But our group and the whole One Shade thing, that was the name of our group. Jay wasn't for real. He wasn't serious about the R&B. I think, like I say, he was just flirting with something that, that he thought he wanted to do. But yeah, I spent a lot of time. There you go.
That's my first time hearing that.
You know what I'm saying? I recorded, man, in high school, studio time. I recorded in high school. And then, of course, when I got to the record label, Rap A Lot Records, man, I would end up, doing a lot of recording there and end up getting the opportunity to sing the hook on one of Do or Die's tracks.
That's what I heard.
Debut album, with Rap A Lot.
That's what I heard. I heard that song. That's the song I heard.
Yeah, Paper Chase.
Yeah.
That's what we on right now. Don't get it twisted. Just the Black Business Show.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? We try to get that. Now, some of us may not be chasing it because I get with the concept of attracting it. I'm cool with that too. You know what I'm saying? As long as I do what I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like, it'll find us. You know what I'm saying?
Doubt.
Get that business taken care of.
That's
but I've been singing, man, all my life. Sung my first solo in church at about 8 years old, man.
Let me shout out to Mama Love in the chat with the super chat. Thank you, Mama Love.
Mama Love.
Appreciate you.
Black Voltron, appreciate you.
Mama Love, hey, Mama Love.
Congratulations on the new book.
Yes.
Black Voltron Reloaded in the building. Crown 808 is in the building.
Yes.
What's going on, Crown 808?
There she is. That's my book
indeed.
lady right there, man. She cold with it, man.
Right. So let's talk about the book. What's the name of the book? What is the book about? What inspired you to write the book? All of that. Give us the whole book origin story.
Okay, Sick, Tired, and Overweight is the title of the book. The inspiration behind it all was, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to take the opportunity, and again, I gotta say this, that my book lady, she took what I had to begin with and influenced and inspired me to just go a little deeper. Let me say that, as it relates to, like, the specifics, about what I was really talking about. But Sick, Tired, and Overweight is the title of the book. And the whole inspiration behind it was that I felt like it was necessary for me to, get in the game, get in the book writing game, because y'all know that our ancestors, they told us, you know what I mean, that we need to put it on paper. So I felt like let's say this, I felt like I had made enough traction to where I could be a voice, in this, let's say this conscious circuit, or this self-awareness, self-improvement circuit. So I wanted to go back and document the timeline from when I made the conscious effort to do better about myself. Because I was sick, man. I was sick, I was tired, and I found out that I was overweight. Because y'all know how we are. We think a lot of times that bigger is better. But oftentimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? And the sickness was addictions. You see, I speak about these different addictions in my book, you know,
Yep.
alcohol, the tobacco, you see, I'm on them squares, man, tough, man, you know, and some other things that I speak about in my book. I had grown to a point of being tired, man, of not having no sense of direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? You see what I'm saying? Like, where do I need to be going? Who do I need to be going with, God? You see what I'm saying? And finances, let me say that finances and economics was the foundation of my sickness, for sure. Like being broke. I'm talking about economically, financially broke. You see what I'm saying? Like, sick of this, man. You see what I'm saying? So I petitioned God, man. I asked God to show me, like, I wanted to know the truth. Like, what is the truth about, like, where God is, who God is, what God is? Because, again, like I'm saying, I was raised with a church-going mother, man. She was very dedicated, let's say that, to the church-going concept and the church membership concept and all that. So I was able to, you know, look at her life and the results, like what it brought, etc. So I just, man, I had a whole bunch of questions for God, man, to where I, again, wanted to know what the truth is. What's the truth of the matter? Because, you know, they tell us that the truth is what's going to make me free. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was in bondage, man, mental bondage, you see? So, again, the inspiration behind it is, you already know that, again, like I was saying in the tribe, about the tribe vibe, the ABS tribe. Like, it's important that you tell your story, because somebody else on the other side of your story is not only dealing with the same thing, but a lot of times they waiting on you. They waiting on you to do what you're supposed to do so they can gain. And then they can go, you see what I'm saying? That's the master's table. That's the whole master's table feel. We all master students coming to sit down at the table and exchange notes. And we're going, you see what I'm saying? The whole point of it all is to grow and
uplift
develop.
each other.
Say that again.
And uplift one another.
Okay.
You know, without judgment, no judgment. Everybody's here kind of receiving not the exact same thing, but trying to get something out of this, you know, bill, you know, that you were getting from the ABS tribe, which I missed. Hate that I missed this so much.
Well, you getting it now, though. You getting it now, because you know what I'm saying, you surrounded all about it. Hey, my sister, the sister Colette, the canning queen, you know what I'm saying? We out here, man.
Right.
We all, you can't really miss us. You see what I'm saying?
That's the correct link, by the way. Black Voltron Reloaded is dropping the link to the book inside the chat. So y'all make sure y'all you know, take heed to the links that are being dropped in the chat as well. Appreciate you, Black Voltron. But that is the correct Amazon link for the book. Sick, Tired, and Overweight. Y'all go get that.
Okay, Black Voltron. I hear you, good brother. That's a brother too, I believe, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a good brother.
Yeah, he stay in the mix. Yeah. I appreciate that. He trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like we saying, take care of that business.
Right.
But yeah, you know, the inspiration behind it all again was like, it's time to tell my story, and we're now in a time now to where, as it relates to book writing, you know, I got to shout Amazon out. Like, Amazon makes it I'm gonna say, let's say that. It makes it easy, because we already, you know, we already ordering. Everybody already got, you know what I'm saying? But the majority of my people are already getting them boxes sent to the house. You see what I'm saying? And Amazon made it easier. Yes, I'm gonna say that. So that whole the whole timeline of me growing sick, tired, and overweight, it morphed into, let me go on and pin this book down, man. You know what I'm saying?
So would you do you consider it a memoir, autobiography? Okay. I know it's dealing with self-improvement overall, but how would you categorize it?
I would like I say, it's autobiography-ish, and you know what I'm saying? And it's informative as it relates to health and wellness. So it's specifically, my angle was specifically to open up a lane to where now I can take you down this health and wellness road that I have been very loyal to since the day that I petitioned God. You see what I'm saying? For help. I've been learning a lot about health and wellness and the benefits of that plate, like what you put in your plate, actually, what you're eating. And of course, we know that our eyes and our ears, they eat as well. So I was able to gain I'm going to say a thorough knowledge on that lane. So it's autobiography and like self-improvement, health and wellness, a overcoming story, like overcoming challenges, overcoming addictions. Say it again.
And family, unlearning and relearning, which was one of my favorite chapters, is chapter 3, unlearning and relearning, homeschooling the babies, which I did that for 2 years with my son. And I waited till middle school to do it, unfortunately. But by the time he got, and I didn't understand a lot of it.
Good time, actually.
I just jumped into it, though. I kind of just jumped in. And then when high school came, he was like, I want to play sports, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so I contacted the school district, and they was like, oh, well, he can't play sports if he's not in school. They wouldn't allow him. So I had to let him kind of go back into school in order to participate in football, which he did for 4 years. But I did the homeschool thing just for 2 years.
Right on. Ty Weezy. I'm in behind Ty Weezy. I'm subscribed to Ty Weezy. Ty Weezy is a character. Do you hear?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ty Weezy is a character. He got it going on. So, big ups to you and your support system that, helped raise him, because I like his style. I do.
I think he cussed too much.
Well, that's mama. What the hell is the cuss word?
Cussing on here. What's the point of? What's funny about that story is when he got technically grown, turned 18, he said, Mom, can I cuss now? He asked. And so I was like, well, why? What do you want to cuss for? Like, he was just, I don't know. When I'm with the guys, I just want to make sure, like, it's okay that I cuss. And I was just like, I have to respect, like, he, thinks so highly of me. You know what I'm saying? And look for my approval still to even ask as a young adult now, Mom, it's okay if I just cuss now? And I was like, but why? Because I feel like it's in his videos, like, is it necessary?
In his videos?
Yeah, when he's doing his live.
Do you cuss in your videos?
Not like this.
Hello.
Not
that
like this. It's overboard.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hear you. But as uncle, uncle ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I got an 18-year-old son. He'll be 19 in September, and sometimes I hear him in conversation on the phone. Like, he don't know, I'm saying? I done walked in the house, he in his room. They be going in. I guess just like we did, though.
I know.
Yeah, but he's solid, though. He you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, he the one. But I gotta ask you though, because having knowledge is one thing. And I'm specifically talking about when it comes to your health journey. You know what I'm saying? Having the knowledge is one thing, because many of us, we know what we eating ain't what we supposed to be eating. You know what I'm saying? We know what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing, but the application, that's another level right there. And then the discipline to maintain it. Right. So what were some of the major hurdles for you, you know what I'm saying, or challenges for you when it came to transitioning to the healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, man. I like that question every time. This gonna sound arrogant. I know it is, but I got to be, I got to be me.
Keep it how it is.
It wasn't any hurdles, but it wasn't because my mother, I'm a mama's boy, man, and my mother, she transitioned from the effects of cancer. It found it in her breast. And, my hero, which is her father, he transitioned from the effects of cancer. Oh, wow. In the prostate is where they found it. My mother was 53 years of age. She had just made 53. You know what I mean? I saw her just shrivel up and just ease on to the other side, brother. Her mother was 41. Her mother was 41 when she transitioned. She would have made 42. Yeah, my grandma. She would have made 42 that year, but she was 41 when my mother, when my mother's mother was 41 when she transitioned, and it was what's that woman stuff in there?
Ovarian.
Yeah, there you go. It was ovarian cancer with my grandmother, which is my mother's parents. See what I'm saying? My mother's parents. And my mother, she didn't have a mother. My mother was almost 2 years old when her mother transitioned. Her mama had just gave birth to her. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and my mother, again, grew up without a mother. And she was a phenomenal mother, man. She did good with me and my brother, man. I'm gonna say that. But people that know us and know her, they'll tell y'all that. So this is what I'm saying. Man, what, considering history, science, and law, you see, because my mother, you see what I'm saying, and her parents, they're part of my history. You see, science is in there and law is in there, because I could, let's use this terminology, fall victim to the same joint. But that part right there alone, brother, is what made it more easier. Let's say that, not complicated. After gaining a thorough knowledge on, let me be specific, the blood and what your blood really means to this whole makeup, this whole business that we got going on as a human being, and your cells. Your blood and your cells play a vital role in your health. So again, like I tell people all the time, me eliminating meat out of my diet, it wasn't hard because I wasn't in behind a trend. You see, I was in tune with natural law, divine law, universal law. You see, and when we talking those laws, we talking about the laws that the universal God has set out before us. You see, that the laws that were put together that created us. You see, even when we start talking about the melanin and how that's the elixir of life, really, family. That melanin is the elixir of life. Now, that's your brother talking, you know what I mean? Somebody would refute it or debate whatever, and I'm fine with that. But that melanin, it plays a vital role in this whole health and wellness as well. But you know what I'm saying, just your anatomy and physiology. You see what I'm saying? Your whole human makeup. So again, when I got a thorough knowledge on how that blood work and how them cells, we have the opportunity to regenerate. Your cells regenerate. You got all your major organs have cells, you see? And I'm learning this and knowing that they need to be fed. That's the point. Your blood needs to be fed. Your cells need to be fed. And like you saying, brother, with the whole, we know we eating some stuff that might not be that good for us. That high fructose corn syrup, family, is feeding the diabetes. You see? Because that high fructose corn syrup is fake sugar. It's fake. And it's there to get you addicted. See, and we become addicted to a lot of stuff as it relates to what we put in our mouth, man. As it relates to biochemistry. So again, man, I gained a thorough knowledge of anatomy and physiology and biochemistry by way of studying Dr. Sebi, Leila Africa, Baxter Montgomery. The good brother down in Houston, Texas, he's a Pisces as well, like you, and he's a cardiologist. Is that the one with the heart?
The heart.
Yeah. He's a heart doctor. You see what I'm saying? T. Collins. I give some name shout outs in my book as it relates to like who inspired me on the information and the knowledge. You see, now you couple all of that, brother, with my discipline, because I'm a disciplined type cat. Like that's me. Like I'm a leader, man. I'm in my circle. I just always been a leader. I've been considered a trendsetter versus following trends, and that ain't no knock on nobody. But I ain't big on just, you know, getting in behind following people. You know what I mean? Like I'm on. See what I'm saying? I get my study on, man. That comes from my mama. I already know that because my mom, she didn't play that game, man. Or just, you know what I mean? Being a sucker for, you know, everything moving. Like, yeah, they doing this now. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go over there. Oh, yeah, they doing this now. Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So again, the foundation of that motivation, man, was my genetics. Like my mama, her mama, and her daddy. Really. Because her daddy, like I'm saying, is my hero. He lived to be 87, but we not talking about, you see what I'm saying, as it relates to
quality
living.
of life. Quality of life, yeah.
The quality of life was, you know, he had $1,000 pill bill, my uncle telling me, right before, you know what I'm saying? That's not living. If you have to be, you know, I got to be on this. I got to go get the machine and I got to go to treatment. That's not living. That's not living because, again, like Sadie say all the time, first of all, the body wasn't created with a zipper. So you don't supposed to be going in there cutting, and closing it back up, and cutting, and closing it back, you know, like, nah. So, you know what I mean? That's where I get my whole, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't really no hard thing to do because I like to feel good and look good, and you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't want to be a burden, you know what I mean, to my children. And hey, we got to take daddy. Who gonna take daddy to treatment this week?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We got to get daddy to his, you know what I'm saying? That ain't no knock on nobody or whatever. But, you know, I just got a certain way of like doing things, man. And I want to be able to get out there with my grandson. You know what I'm saying? If he want me to come out there, my granddaughter, if he want me to come out there to the park and swing with him or throw him a ball, or, you know what I'm saying? You so big you can't breathe. Like, boy, sit down. I can't keep up with you. Shoot. Yeah, that's just, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much where the inspiration and motivation for that come from. And then, like I'm saying, I'm a disciplined fella, man. Like if I'm on something, I'm on it.
I'm on it. Tell us about July 22nd, 2015.
July 22nd, 2015 is the date that I intentionally eliminated meat out of my diet. And the intentions behind it is because 22 is a master number. 7 days before my born day, which is 7/29. And like we're saying, it's right before Leo season. So in my mind, I was saying, I'm celebrating double time every time it come around. It's about to be Leo season. It's a master number, deuce. And you see what I'm saying? My born day is coming in 7 more days. So I'll be able to every year put all that together and celebrating something that I know for me has helped me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and about to be economically. Because again, you know, we have this concept of plant-based or you know, some would say vegan, but I personally don't attach myself to none of these labels. I'm just a health conscious eating cat. Yeah, because I don't want you putting me in because my brother told me that people that seem like the people that don't eat meat, they be on they, you know what I'm saying, high horse type.
Yeah.
You eat meat? I'm not into none of that. I'm into demonstrating who I am, and that's all I can give you. I'm not here to convert or convince you to, hey, come do what I do. You know what I mean? I'm not into that, but I'm into demonstrating, because just like my sister said, grandpa aware, I get that a lot.
Right.
I get that a lot from my children's co-workers and friends, and like, that's your daddy? oh my God, he looks like your brother. You know what I'm saying? And I know, this is what I know. The elimination of the meat is playing a role in that. A role. I'm not saying the role, but it's playing a role in that because yeah, that flesh, man, again.
How tall are you?
Say it again.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
How much you weigh today?
Today I weigh, I'm probably gonna bring you on the scale about 180. And that's pushing it. And that's pushing it. I'm averaging between 170 and 180 at any given time. Yeah.
And where were you at your heaviest?
I eventually saw 250, a little over 250. I was in between 250 and 255 a couple of times. Saying I saw that because I got on the scale, but I maintained about 240. Like when I would jump on the scale, I would see like 240 a lot, and it was, man, unhealthy 240. Like I tell people all the time, I wasn't playing linebacker for your favorite NFL team, so that was unnecessary weight. You know what I mean? And it was fat. It wasn't no muscle. It was fat, which that high fructose corn syrup and that fake sugar and that white stuff, white rice and a lot of that is what bring on all that. You just blowed up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm maintaining about, you know, like I'm saying, in between 170 and 180 at any given time. Today I'm probably about 175 or something, right? Today. That's yeah, and I feel good, man. Cause my back, that weight, my back, my knees. Oh man.
And you outside, you in that dirt, you in the earth all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I know that plays a role too. Just the sweat equity that you're getting out of the actual work that you're doing, but just having your hands and your feet in the earth like that. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the significance of that.
That's right. That's right. Man, it's very important for us to stay close to mama. Mother Earth is who we speaking about here. And that, like the good brother is saying, what we call earthing, you see, or grounding. And if you're not familiar, I know this platform, these people, they familiar with these terms and all of this, so I ain't got to do no explaining.
But you always got to speak for the ones that might not know, though. I try to make a habit out of that.
Show you right. So with that, grounding and earthing, putting your bare feet in that ground, and that find some, you know what I'm saying, some soil, some grass, because it's it's somewhere for all of us to be able to take them shoes and socks off, man, and put those bare feet in that ground, man, and because it's a regulation going on when you do that. It's regulating your circulation, if you will, of your blood. And not only that, you are communicating again with your mama, you see, with Mother Earth. And in doing so, these communications, like for me, I've gotten downloads, you know what I'm saying, while earthing and grounding. I've gotten downloads, and when we say downloads, we meaning God is communicating with you in a certain way that he possibly could not do if you wasn't grounded. You just so busy, you got them socks and shoes on all the time, and you might be one of them people that say, I'm never gonna put my bare feet in you outside with no shoes and socks on? Because I got that for, people, you know what I'm saying, family members and whatnot, like, boy, you put your shoes, you ain't gonna, boy, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Wow, you just out here with no socks and shoes, huh? Yeah. Because again, there is a reward. That's what I want to say. There's a reward in that as it relates to your spirit man, because that's what we got to know, that your spirit man and your physical man, it's important for them to be in tune, and it's important for them to be in tune with God's law and God's way of doing things. And again, you see, when we talking earthing and grounding, see, that's a way of you showing God that, yeah, I appreciate you, and I'm trying to hear from you, if you will. And at the same time, like we're saying, your health as it relates to your blood circulation, and even like if you're dealing with some sense of anxiety, or maybe you might be dealing with heart palpitations or something like that. You know what I mean? Some type of heart issue. You know what I'm saying? Like a fluttering or whatever. It's good for you to put those bare feet in that ground. Now, yeah, you do your due diligence, you know what I'm saying, on that subject matter, and turn up one time. But yeah, man, I intentionally would do, you know, that ground and earth, because after my reading and researching, I found out that, yeah, that's one way to rid yourself of toxins, you see, that you need to rid yourself of, so they can in turn be replaced with, like we're saying, these different benefits of the earth and the ground as it relates to communicating with God and, you know, trying to better yourself as it relates to health and wellness. It's especially, again, when we're talking about your spirit man, because your spirit man is a vital tool in how your physical is working. You know, we say where the mind is, the body is gonna follow. You see, your spirit man is up here, basically. Now we get to talking about all that scientific stuff. You see, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland. What are they there? What are they in that brain for? What are they really? You see what I'm saying? What were they created for? And then that's when we start talking about your actual seeing and hearing diet and all of that, man, to where now your spirit man gets in tune with God's law. So then your physical man gets to benefit and reap the reward for your spirit man being in tune with God. And that earthing and grounding is one form, you know what I'm saying, of doing so.
Indeed. And so again, family, the link to order the book is pinned to the top in the chat. And I'll make sure I leave it in the description as well for the people that check this out on the replay. But go ahead and cop the book, man. I just ordered mine off of Amazon.
I got it already.
I know that's
I got it. What daily habits or rituals can someone in their journey, you know, do on their journey to self-discovery? What would you recommend that someone do? What habits or rituals should they do in order to, you know, be consistent, you know, but also to get onto their journey of self-discovery and mastery?
Tune into the Godcast every week. Make that, put that in your itinerary. Tune into the Godcast. You understand? Because again, like we're saying, your diet consists of more than just that plate. You see? And on platforms like this is healthy content being produced and created and published. And why is your brother saying that? Because you want to stay away from a bunch of the drama. See, you at the top of your itinerary should be stay away from the drama filled narratives of who's fucking who. You understand?
Right.
Celebrity got, or such and such just got $1 million and didn't got, you know, all of that. Like, that's not even gonna benefit you. You see, really. So that's one form of what you watching. You know what I'm saying? And again, the Godcast is producing some content that you should be able to. Okay, they said what? Let me write that down.
Right.
I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna check into that. and go from there. Now, another daily ritual would be make sure you're drinking you some water. You see?
Get at that. That's one thing I do consistently like a mug. I drink my damn water.
Right. Right on.
Mind his business. Drink your water and mind your business.
You see what I'm saying? Drink you some water and mind your business. And again, as it relates to feeding your mind, find you some type of literature that is going to challenge your mental on like whatever. Like for me, I'm one that I was already into the human body. Like I was already infatuated, if you will, with the human body and the brain and how it works. I start my book off by telling you that I'm a psychoanalyst, self-proclaimed psychoanalyst. And like I say, it's the Leo the lion in me. I'm very observant. I gotta watch. I gotta pay attention because I gotta protect. I got a family to protect. I got, you see what I'm saying, loved ones, you see, to protect. And with that came, for me, like I'm saying, as it relates to the literature, it in the curriculum of the wonders of the human body, like how the human body works, I find that brain, you see, is a vital tool. So you got to be careful about what you feeding it. You remember we talked about cells? Your brain, your brain alone, they telling me, is consisting of billions with a B, billions of cells. Family, these cells are like little computers that can catch a virus, that can go dormant with this virus. See, now with this virus, the cells are dormant, so now they're not able to do what they were created to do. Now, when we talking about think and grow rich, you see,
as a man thinketh.
Come on, your cells, them brain cells, they need to be nourished, if you will, with nutrition. And again, like we're saying, platforms like this, as it relates to feeding that brain, is going to help. Literature, whatever. Hey, again, this sick, tired, and overweight. Grab that. How about that? And hopefully you can gain some type of inspiration and motivation from the obstacles or the challenges that your good brother faced via addiction, different addictions, man. Because again, we got to know that addiction is running rampant. You know, it always has since, you know, the creation of humanity. You know what I mean?
And it comes in many forms. It's not just your crackhead. You know, when people think of addiction, you only think it can be alcoholism, you know, or drug addiction, but addiction comes in many, many forms. So
absolutely, because I talk about the porn. Yeah, exactly. I talk about the porn. You understand me? We in this in the wilderness of North America, we're raised in a hypersexual environment. Very hypersexual. And
very young.
Very young. I speak about that in my book, about how young I was introduced to. For us, it was, like I say, magazines. Now today, they got it right at the fingertips. Right. I saw a clip of a classroom of youngsters, and the youngster was watching porn. His teacher walked up on him, and the youngster was in class. He got this phone,
on that phone,
man, jumping with porn. So, you know, all of that. Yeah, so a daily ritual again. Yeah, man, it's drink you some water, find you know what I'm saying, podcasts like this one. And again, hopefully that will lead you to some type of, again, literature, because reading is fundamental. You know what I mean? And you already know that, what would we call them? The dominant society, you know,
Right.
would lead us to believe that if you put it in the book, that the God's not gonna touch it. But I'm here to bust up all that foolishness.
Yeah.
And again, not only me, but we. You know what I'm saying? We here to as master students, if you will. We're here to study ourselves some more after we get through studying, you know what I'm saying, the first round. So yeah, that would be a daily ritual for me, man. Like, I mean, you know, advice for me to tell you.
You touched on some things. You touched on some major things, man. You know, overall, what I'm gathering, it's about knowledge itself. Absolutely, you know what I'm saying, being the basis of everything. Applying the knowledge and practicing discipline and remaining consistent.
Yeah,
those are like the core keys to everything that I'm hearing from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just acquiring the knowledge, applying the knowledge, being steadfast with the discipline, and remaining consistent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And also just having a relationship, you know what I'm saying, with God, because
Right.
throughout his book, you know what I'm saying, God is all through, you know, the book, the Moorish Science Temple of America, NOI, obviously his mom in the church singing in the choir. So spirituality it seems to me, has always been the, you know, up high, you know what I'm saying, on the totem pole for you, being led by the Spirit.
Right. And I'm glad you said that too, because that does clear it up for some people. Because when I say knowledge itself, that's what I mean. I'm talking about spirituality too. I'm talking about God when I speak of knowledge itself, but everybody don't have that same understanding when you talk about the term, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, since we got you here, what does knowledge of self mean to you? What does that term mean to you?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Knowledge of self to me means self-awareness, and let's be specific, because this is the Black Showcase. So I know these my people. These my people that I'm talking to, that's watching me, etc. So with self-awareness, it's very important that you know who you are pre transatlantic slave trade, etc. Woo to woo. See what I'm saying? Because we here in the wilderness of North America, in these independent school districts, we're gonna get what they call a month, Black History Month. That we won't get no black, like we don't get no education. We're not educated on Black history in that jurisdiction, if you will. Now, what is very important and a vital tool to you being who you supposed to be, being who you was created to be, you need to know where you come from. Like, who are you really? You see? And if you are believing that your ancestors, or you see the foundation of your existence started with a slave ship, you see what I'm saying? And some, you know, again, some transporting of human bodies from one land plate to another. And then, like, some of us, like I heard Soulja Boy say a long time ago, he glad that they went and got the boat, whatever, so he could work. Like, come on, man. See, again, that's miseducation.
Yeah.
Because we was gods and goddesses and kings. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to try to romanticize it, of course, but we got to tell the story. It ain't about romanticizing. It's just about telling the story, the true story of our origin. Now, again, the only way that you can be self-aware is if you know where self comes from. Again, we have a wealth of history pre-slave trade and pre-slave plantation fields. So for me, knowledge of self It's definitely starting there, like with the history part of it. Again, like the good brother saying, spirituality, of course, is at the forefront. You see, because then we have to start talking about spirituality, religion. What is religion? Because see, religion is not a bad thing. We do a lot of things religiously, but organized religion in the wilderness of North America became a business tool. And we know that, where we not knocking none of the pastors or the bishops, but we know that now in our adult minds, that man, we as it relates to business, again, this is the Black Business Showcase. We talking about business. As it relates to business, we're not producing businesses within these religious organizations. Now, like I tell people all the time, because we're talking knowledge of self, and what does that mean to me? For me, the best example that I always give people, the youngsters and my age, etc., is the Nation of Islam. That's the most solid example that I have for you as it relates to what religion should look like. Because you talking about cleaners, restaurants, farmland being owned within the organization. Right. You talking about a
nation building.
Yeah,
come on.
The
nation
Final
building.
Call newspaper itself been around forever.
Come on. And see that again. See, knowledge of self. Let's talk about that. Like my sis just said. That newsletter. You remember in the Constitution, they're telling us that we have a freedom of speech.
Press.
Right. There you go. You see, that's press. The Godcast is press. You see, you get to create your digital newsletter every time you turn this camera on and communicate with your people. And nobody, come on now, you see what I'm saying? That book right there played a vital role in me knowing how to eat to live. I speak about that in my book. You see what I'm saying? So again, the knowledge of self it's not just yo God, peace God.
That me?
You know what I'm saying? It's a little deeper than that. Yeah, you going. It's all good though. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was on my side. Okay.
It's all good. But again, knowledge of self to me is all of that. And again, like I've said, the most important part, because we all were made. Let's say this: we all were made to go to school, the independent school district, and a lot of us were made to go to the church house. You see what I'm saying? And those of us that were made to do so, we need to know that there's a wealth of history that we didn't come in contact with, that we need to come in contact with in order to do, like the brother said earlier, apply the knowledge. That's wisdom. Wisdom is applying in the knowledge what you know. In order for you to do so, you got to know who you are, or else you might be one of these ones, like we said, walking around. You want to be in the next. Oh, they're doing this now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go do that. Oh yeah, you know they're doing this now. I'm gonna go do that.
Just jumping on trends.
Yeah.
Jumping on trends. Can I read an excerpt from your book in chapter 3, Unlearn, Relearn, since we're talking about schools and stuff like that? You do have some people, Black folk, in an uproar because Donald Trump is talking about dismantling, the Department of Education. Yeah. And so in an excerpt of his book, and it was just right on time for me, it says, I was inspired to make it my business to afford my babies the opportunity to be introduced to a curriculum that would be conducive to aiding them in having a holistic outlook on themselves and life, void of cultural bias curriculums that's designed to produce a product of conformity and oftentimes low self-esteem. There is no way that a European-owned operated independent school district can afford my melanated babies a fair chance at living out their divine purpose.
Man. Hearing somebody read that, that's it right
And
there.
I highlighted that part, by the way. It's
Come on.
highlighted in there because I was like, wow, this is like, and you got people screaming and hollering, oh, he taking away the schools, and which it's like you gotta, one, we should have been ready for any of this to begin with.
Right.
But and then the fact that you took your baby's education in your all hands.
Absolutely. What's important about that to me is that I heard him say, Donald Trump, President Trump, I heard him say way before all of this, that he was, I want to say, like, wanted to delegate funds for homeschool.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah, tax write-off. I think up to $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly. And also school choice was always the thing that he was talking about when he was president, before having the choice of where you want to send your children to school versus based off your zip code.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I thought that was hearing the dismantling of the educational system. Like I thought that was necessary.
Right. I mean, and they how they do with the wording of things in order to control the narrative. They want to frame it a certain way. It sounds kind of crazy. You dismantling the Department of Education, but basically he just giving the power back to the states.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? He's saying, y'all handle your own business over there. We're not gonna get involved with it.
There you go.
And I don't know why people are in the uproar about it. And then the same people complaining are the same people that says, my kids ain't learning nothing at school. Your kids get bad grades, performing poorly, poor test results, etc. But you're complaining that he's dismantling, the Department of Education.
You see what I'm saying?
Pick your poison.
and doing you and don't even realize it, doing you a favor.
Doing you a favor.
Yeah. But ignorance is bliss.
It is.
Because we feel like, and I'm saying we felt like that going to that independent school district was doing us some good, because you remember integration.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's talking about segregation too, remember? He just signed another executive order talking about, bringing back segregation or taking segregation out of contracts, with something. But I was just like, okay.
I ain't see that one. I gotta see that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Sunday. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
But time is flying though. We've been here almost an hour and a half already. You know what I'm saying?
I got one question for you. Before we go, one question.
No doubt. Go ahead. Before we start winding down, you ask your question, and then we'll finish off with our questions.
Okay. Again, when we first started the ABS tribe, I remember running across a video of you and Il Malik's, who we call affectionately Malcolm X's grandson.
Yeah.
And I believe that's his namesake.
Yes, my brother.
I was crunk, you know what I'm saying, to see, because I'm a Malcolm. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Il Malik. You know what I mean? Because I know if he, he would want to be acknowledged as Il Malik. You know what I mean? He didn't correct that for nothing. But this is what I'm saying. When I saw that video, man, and I saw y'all vibing like y'all were vibing, I could tell that that's your brother. And I was like, again, see, the law of attraction, going back to earthing and grounding and getting your spirit man and, you see what I'm saying, together. The law of attraction is it's working, it's doing what it do at all times. Whatever you own, you see what I'm saying? You're going back to the money, finding you. It's gonna find you. And when I saw my brother Sincere and Malcolm X's grandson vibing, and to get, you could tell, like I'm saying, you could tell that they were brothers. Like this wasn't no video op. Like, hey, yeah, man, come do a video with me because you Malcolm grandson. I just wanna. They was, you know what I mean? Y'all was obviously brothers. So this is my question. for me and my record and those that will see this recording, because I don't think I've ever caught you speaking about that relationship. I don't think I have. But can you let your good brother in on the nature of how that relationship came to be?
Man, it makes me feel good that you even raised that you even bring his name up. Peace be upon my brother. And you hit it on the head when you talk about the law of attraction, because that's how I met him. It was the law of attraction doing what it do. I had always heard that he was around my way. Like I think he was in like a foster home or something in my city where I live at. But I didn't meet him when he was going through whatever process he was going through with the foster system and all of that. But I used to hear about him. People used to tell me, "Oh yeah, Malcolm X's grandson, whatever." But I never met him. And one day I cut his hair. He was in my chair, and I was just cutting his hair, and he saw I got the Malcolm X tattoo on my arm. And he was like, "Got Malcolm X tatted?" And so I'm like, "Oh yeah. You know what I mean?" And I think started building from there about whatever knowledge I had of Malcolm X or whatever. And he was like, "That's my grandfather, right?" And I just looked at him, and I knew him as Mecca. You know what I'm saying? People around my way called him Mecca. So I was like, "You Mecca?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was surprised that I said that name too. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "We met before or something?" Because I guess only people that know him like that call him Mecca. You know, he's like, "We met before." I'm like, "Nah, I ain't even know that was you." You know what I'm saying? And so, I boldly asked him about the situation with Betty Shabazz, his grandmother.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? With the fire and all of that. I wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember seeing that on the news and all of that. And I remember having like anger toward him even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
Like, how you gonna do some shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
Too. Yeah.
So I asked him about that. And he was open, you know what I'm saying? He was open to talk about it. And he basically explained to me how his mother, she was under, I don't know if she was indicted or she was under some type of federal investigation for the plot to assassinate Minister Farrakhan.
Right.
And so he was getting shuffled from house to house, from different homes and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And every time he acted out, they would go send him to live with this aunt, go send him to live over here. Every time he got himself in trouble, they would send him to go live with somebody else. And he was just trying to get back to his mother. So he kept doing, he kept acting out intentionally, hoping somebody eventually was going to say, "Well, you got to go back with your mother. We can't deal with you. You got to go back and stay with your mother." That was what he was thinking in his 11, 12-year-old mind. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding, how really deep it was, what was going on with his mother and all of that. And so the last thing that he did was he set that fire. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't his intentions, you know what I'm saying, to unalive his grandmother, but unfortunately, that's the way that it happened, and that's how he ended up in the system and all of that stuff. And and just from that day on, we just started kicking it. We exchanged math, and we started kicking it. We linked up, and really, what it was when he heard my music, when he heard my music, I would hear from him every day after that. After that, he was calling me every day. You know what I'm saying? He like, because his thing was like, I gotta help you. Like, I gotta help you get on, because he know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? He's pretty well connected, you know what I'm saying? So he like, nah, you can't just be sitting out here with that type of talent and nobody don't know who you is. Like, I gotta start introducing you to people and stuff like that. Right. So, we just grew a bond from there, he stayed at my crib for a while, you know what I'm saying? Because he was always in and out of town. He was like a nomadic brother, you know what I'm saying? He was never really stationary, nothing like that. So whenever he was in town, he would come stay with me, my family, you know what I'm saying? And I was the last person on the East Coast to see him. I took him to the airport to go out to California to bring my mixtapes out there to go shop my music with some people and all of that. And so I took him to the airport, and that was the last time I seen him. A few days after that, started getting the word that he was in Mexico, and things transpired, and never really got to the bottom of what actually really happened to my brother. But you know what I mean, that was the last time I seen him, the day at the airport.
It's crazy.
Man, we appreciate you for, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been wanting to hear you just explain the whole that relationship, because I peeped, I saw that, I was like,
good brother, man, good brother, you know what I'm saying? Just a regular guy, man, you know what I'm saying? How it might seem from afar, you got a certain viewpoint of people, but he was just a regular dude, very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. He was troubled, you know what I'm saying? He was troubled, but he was dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? And he was coming around. He had just had a child, you know what I'm saying? He had a young daughter at the time, you know what I'm saying? And so he was getting a hold of things, and he was starting to do speaking engagements and going to Rikers Island and speaking to the prisoners on Rikers Island and stuff like that. He was starting to, find his voice and his purpose and coming to his own, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I needed to hear that. I mean, where we needed to hear that. Now it's documented.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's documented.
No doubt. I appreciate that, man. So, Nicey.
He know what it is. He already know. What does freedom and power mean to you?
Freedom and power. You know what I'm saying? Freedom and power to me means a thorough knowledge of self. Again, you can't be who God created you to be if you don't have a thorough knowledge of self. Now, how to obtain that is gonna vary in different ways because we different people. You know what I mean? Just like the good brother was explaining about Malcolm X's grandson. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be it'll be different experiences that take you down these different roads that will inspire you to gain this knowledge of self. But it's very important to gain a thorough knowledge of self, because that's what a freedom is. Because within the curriculum of knowledge of self is the truth. So you're not dealing with no fluff, if you will, or you see what I'm saying, watered down nothing when we're talking a thorough knowledge of self. So that's where your freedom and your power gonna come from, because then after you obtain that, you can go demonstrate. Like the scriptures told you, ye are gods. You see? Ye are gods. That's my sis. Ye are gods. You're not puppets. You're not lab rats.
Right.
You see, that ain't what the scriptures is telling you. Ye are gods. There's a responsibility that comes with that. And again, we're not trying to romanticize none of this. It's gonna take some work. There's gonna be some challenges. There's gonna be some obstacles in the way. There's gonna be some smoke screens, if you will, via Republican, Democratic, you, what side are you? Who do you believe in? It's gonna be some smoke screens. So again, it's very important for you to gain this thorough knowledge of self via, like we're saying, these type platforms like the Godcast. And I can go on with some names, but we just gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna keep it at the Godcast, because that's where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want to promote right now, is the Godcast, because we know that within the curriculum, again, of knowledge of self, you'll be able to, you see what I'm saying? Again, hear something to where you need to take you some notes and go do your due diligence and then come on back with it, man, so you can be free and powerful.
Love that.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I shouldn't even after that have to put you on the Summer Jam screen, but it's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
It's a ritual. I got to put you on the Summer Jam screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they can hear me when I do that. But yeah, once I put you on the Summer Jam screen, just, you know, whatever parting words that you have for the family tonight, go on and share that with us.
I don't feel no waste time.
Eh?
I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. You know what I'm saying? No
It
way.
is so crazy that you did that. Let me tell you about how the universe works. I was going to ask him to sing us out. That was my plan. I swear I was going to do that, but look.
There it is.
Only through God. God knows.
There it is. No ways tied, bro. I feel no ways tied. And family, we got a work to do.
Yep.
We're working on that work right now. So let's continue doing this work so we can get what God has created us to get.
Our inheritance, reparations. Also get the book. Don't forget the book. The link is in the chat already. If you guys are following him, you can also get the link from the Amazon link through his bio on Instagram at Sekond Sun. So, you know, get the book.
That's it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I want to thank everybody for tapping in with us tonight. The Godcast family, some of the guests, Miss Leo Princess, appreciate you tapping in as well. My sister Crown 808. Special shout out to my brother Black Voltron, man. I appreciate you, you know, always holding it down. It's not taken for granted, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate the support. Crew Reality, shout out to you. Mama Love, always in the building, holding down the fort. Shout out to Mama Love.
Shout out to Mama Love.
Shout out to my brother at Genius Level Radio. At Genius Level Radio, that's the ad that y'all see playing in the beginning of the show as well. Where they play, you know, all of the real hip hop stuff over there. They got me and my brother DJ RP Beats in heavy rotation on Genius Level Radio. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out as well.
Shout out to them.
But yeah, family, this has been another dynamic episode of the Black Business Showcase right here on Sincere Love the Godcast. And so remember, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you would like to be featured on our platform, just hit us up. You know, you can hit me on the DM, hit Nicey Girl on the DM, or send us an email, godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on so we can get you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase. You know what I'm talking about?
Key word is Black business.
Right on.
Just in case, you know.
Just in case.
Yes, Lord.
Just in case. I ain't gonna lie, we let a couple slide through. You know, a couple of slid through the cracks over the years.
Yeah.
You said no more slide, huh?
No slide.
Yeah, we gotta have message discipline over here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
On.
Message discipline.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Right on.
But yeah, family, always remember, never forget, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. And we up out of here. Peace and Black love.
One.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.